guys, my name is Bruna. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. So today's video is gonna look a little different. I'm usually either at the park filming a video or I'm talking to you something related to Disney. But today, if you noted by the title, it's going to be a different. I'm gonna be sharing a little part of my testimony with y'all on what God did to me or for me and in me, and how he used Disney to do it, right? But before we get into it, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Follow me on my social medias so you can follow me along for all my next adventures. I am going to Disneyland very soon, and I will definitely be making some videos out of that. And so leave in the comments what you want to see at Disneyland. But yes, let's get right into the video. So, backstory about me before I get into this part of my story. My family didn't grow up taking me to church, but I did grow up having them, tell me who God was and who Jesus was and what he did for me and how he died on the cross. And I've always loved that, and I always felt safe in knowing that there was a higher power, who had my back. And when I was 11, I joined my school's Christian group aftercare thing. It was like they would meet on Wednesdays after school, and I started attending, and that's actually where I got saved. So I accepted Christ into my life when I was 11. So I accepted Christ into my life one day when they were asking if you want Jesus into your life and all that stuff at the school. So, and I have been saved ever since. I was baptized when I was 16 years old. When I was 14, I started attending the church that I attend now, and because a friend of mine from school invited me to go, and I just loved it, and I started attending more, and then I started volunteering. I served in the kids ministry and in the student ministry all throughout high school, and even while I was in college, I found this awesome church and I started serving in the kids ministry over there as well. But even though I had my walk with Christ, I still struggled with my worth. And I was always told, your worth is found in God, and I knew that stuff, okay? But I always seeked validation from people, where the only validation I could get from was from God, right? And I think a lot of us do. A lot of us want people to validate us and for that to be enough, but it's not. Because people will, disappoint us, but God doesn't. And so part of my story is that's what I struggled with. I didn't feel chosen. I didn't feel loved. I didn't feel wanted. And I knew I was. And I knew I was loved by God. And I knew that God had plans for my life. And I knew that. And I believed that. But I still struggled with it. And then when I was in college, when I graduated, I made a decision to come back home, which was really hard for me because my whole life was in Orlando at that point. All of my friends, and I didn't want to have to leave everyone behind, and it was hard, but I knew that this is where God wanted me to go, and so I did. And the first 3 months, I just felt alone and isolated and just like left out. And not that it was anyone's fault, but my own, really. And especially like my friends in Orlando, like of course they left me out. I was in a completely different city. Like I couldn't be included in things that I couldn't do the things that they were doing because I was far from them. So yeah, I was feeling left out. And then I went to Disney World and met up with them, and I had expectations on how they were going to react and how the day was gonna go and how like they were gonna be so happy to see me and blah 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 blah. I put a lot of expectations on them, and honestly looking back now, I can honestly say, like, that's where, you know, one of the things to not do. We tend to put so much expectations on other people that they cannot meet. And when they don't meet it, we get upset and we get disappointed because we expected something from them and we didn't get it. But we cannot control what they do, but we can control how we react to that stuff. So I've learned to stop really just putting too much expectations on others that they probably cannot meet. And to really just rely on God. Like, people can't save you, only God can. And I've personally have seen that in my life. But yes, so I was disappointed with how they were acting, mainly because I really felt unseen. I felt unloved. I felt all those emotions that I've been feeling my whole life that were always off and on came out that day. I was literally at such a weak point in my mental state. And it's crazy because I was in the happiest place on earth, also my favorite place on earth, and I was upset. I was on the edge of crying, and I did cry, but yeah, so no one was really talking to me. I was really left out, all this stuff, and I decided me and my friend Jess, who actually was speaking to me, we went to go to the laugh floor, and I had invited them to come, but they didn't want to, so I'm just like, fine. I actually didn't want them to come. I kind of wanted to be away from them, and I was not planning on going and back hanging out with them until my friend, I'm in line for laugh floor, and one of my friends came over to us to join us, and I asked him, where's everyone else? And he tells me that they're not coming. And my immediate thought, I didn't say this to him, but my immediate thought was, then why are you here? Like, why'd you come then? But I didn't say that. So he got in line, and then he started asking me, like, how I'm doing, and I was very, like, a little bit standoffish, I'll be honest, because I was just so hurt and upset and honestly, like, about to cry. And then he turns to me and tells me that he felt God telling him to come. He says, well, this is the next word. He's like, I felt God tell me that I needed to come to you and talk to you. And that moment, like, I didn't know what to say. I actually didn't say anything to him. I looked at him and I looked down, and tears started coming down my eyes. Thank God I had a hat on, and I just kind of kept my head bowed. I didn't speak to him or to my other friend the entire time we were in line for laugh floor, and I'm actually, like, crying secretly while I was in laugh floor, which you don't cry in laugh floor, you laugh. But I'm over here crying. But anyway, so we got off laugh floor. I ended up hanging out with everyone else again because he was there, but no one was talking to me. I wasn't talking to anyone. I was just in my own little space with my friend Jess. And so we end up riding The Little Mermaid, and I end up riding with him, and he's again trying to ask me what's going on, and I'm again just being incredibly stubborn and standoffish and just telling him I'm fine, like, it's not a big deal, like, you won't understand, because that's how I felt. Like, I felt like I couldn't talk to anyone about what I was going through. I felt like no one would understand me, that people would judge me, because to me it was a silly feeling. Like, I couldn't believe that I was feeling these things, and I just felt like they weren't important, and I felt like I was going to be judged for the way I was feeling, so I didn't want to say anything. And then he turns to me and tells me, well, I just want you to know that God told me that he hurts when you hurt. And I was fighting back the tears so much, just so I can get out of the ride. And once I got out of the ride, I ran to the bathroom in the Gaston's Tavern bathroom, because that was the closest bathroom to the Little Mermaid, and I cried my eyes out in the stalls, like bawling, to the point where everyone in that bathroom could hear me. This was like probably, I want to say, like 7, 8 o'clock at night, and everyone could hear me in that bathroom. And my tears were my emotions were all over the place. I was crying happy tears, sad tears, all at once. I was like crying sad tears because I just felt so overwhelmed with everything, but also happy tears because for the first time ever, like I truly felt seen and felt God's incredible love on me. And not that I haven't felt it before, I truly have, but I think in that moment I had forgotten about that love because I was so focused on the feelings I was having. And but I think also for me, for so long I felt like that 99 that God had to leave behind to go search for that one, because I have been a Christian for so long. But that night God reminded me that I am the one that he will leave the 99 for, because he loves me so much. And once I got out of the bathroom, was able to get myself together, we rode Thunder Mountain, and then after my friend pulled me aside, and he just spoke things into my life and used words like chosen, loved, wanted, that God is proud of you, all these things that he had no idea what I was going through. He had no idea what those words meant for me. He just knew to use them because God was using him to speak to me. And for the first time in like, I can't tell you how long, I truly believed those words. I felt and believed that I was chosen. I felt and believed that I was loved, that I was worthy, that I was wanted, that my worth and my identity doesn't come from the things of this world or what people say about me, but what God says about me. And so he spoke all those things, and then he prayed over me. And after he was done praying, I felt God telling me, all right, now tell him what you're going through, because he knew what he said, but he didn't know what that meant to you. So let him know what those words meant to you. And my friend was amazed at how he was used by God in this way, because again, he had no idea what those words meant for me, but God did. And God used those words to do something in my life that I can't even like begin to really express. That day he completely changed me. I have not been the same since that day 3.5 years ago. I handle things so much better now. You know, when the enemy is trying to attack me and make me feel like I'm not worthy or valuable or chosen or loved or wanted, I am now capable and able to remember that day and be like, no, this is what God says about me. This is what God did to me 3 years ago, and he's still working in my life. And every day is a new thing, and every day he's still working in me. And I am so beyond thankful for that day, and I'm so beyond thankful for that God, met me where I was, and at my weakest point, he showed me his strength. He was greater, even though I was weak. And what's cool is that my friend was used by God to be such a part in my life. And what's even crazier, well, two things that's even crazier, that same morning before I drove up to Disney, I prayed a prayer like, God, show me, I pray for whatever it is you have to show me this weekend. And he did. And I kid you not, like, I felt him that day telling me, I've been wanting you to see this and understand this for so long, and I finally got you. And like, I realized, like, yes, Lord, I believe it now. I truly do. I truly see it. I know that I am loved by you. I know that I'm chosen. And I'm so thankful, God, that you reminded me of those things. And it's crazy because the friend that he used, if you had told me 3 months before that he would have been the one that God would use for this part of my life, I would have been like, there's no way, because we were not that close. But God built our friendship for that moment. For that moment. A day that I will never forget. And it's so crazy because where he did this, like, could not have been a more perfect place. He could have used any place and it would, would have been great. but he picked a place that's dear to my heart, which is Disney World, and used that place to change my life. He used the thing that he knows I love because he knows me so well. He knows my heart, and he knows what would make this story even more powerful. In using the place that I love so much, that's my favorite place to be at, to do this in my life, just shows how personal this story is, and how much he sees me and how much he loves me, that he would take me to a place that he knows is my favorite and change my life forever there. And I get to now go to Disney and go to that spot and be reminded of what God did that day, which is just the coolest thing to me, because yes, I loved Disney before, but I love it even more now, because every time I'm there, I get that reminder again that, girl, you're loved, girl, you're chosen. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I wanted to share this story with y'all because this is a story that's dear to my heart, and I just loved sharing it because I just love that I get to give God all the praise and glory, and just hype him up and just show you guys like what God is capable of. And I don't know if you're listening to this and you're a Christian or not, but even if you're not, I just want to remind you that you are loved and you are chosen, and that God loves you so much, and that there is nothing that you can do that will keep him from loving you. There's nothing you can do to earn his love, and there's nothing you can do to get rid of it. He just loves you so much. He sent your son down for you because of his love for you. And I just want to be that reminder today, and just share a little part of my story to maybe inspire one of you to either share your story or want to know more of who Jesus is. Because let me tell you, like, my life would not be the same without him. Like, I would not be in front of this camera right now getting to share this story with y'all if it wasn't for what he's done in my life and what he's done for me. And I know that there's so much that he wants to do through me, and I want to be used by him for all that he wants to do through me. But yeah, I just want to say thank you guys so much for listening to this story. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And I just want to let you know that I am praying for y'all, that I love y'all, that God loves y'all, that God sees you, that God has chosen you, that you are his son, you are his daughter, and that he loves you so much. Again, thank you so much for watching. I just hope that you guys have a magical and wonderful day. See you guys next time.